What is going on, everybody? My name is Wadi, the Crypto Hunter, and today we have a special guest, which is my friend Clint. Hello, Clint. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, what's going on, man? You want to talk to me a little bit about yourself before we get into the market and everything else?
Um, I'm a grandfather. Been investor for a while. I follow you, and Bollocks and Mandox and a whole bunch of different communities, and I love crypto, and whatever I can do to help, I'm here.
Yeah, no, I actually appreciate that, man. I know it was a last minute thing. If not, would have made a nice flyer of you. Um, but well, since you did brought up Bolix and we are here, what do you think about that chart, bro? I mean, in my opinion, it has been holding up nicely. And what you think about the whole ecosystem and everything that's going on?
Well, I think Bollocks itself in his vision with the 10 NFTs, the 10 tokens, with the real the Web 2 and Web 3, bringing those together, and then uniting. The important thing is uniting other crypto communities to, so that we all succeed. And that's really what turned me on with the Bollocks token and crypto Bollocks is its sincerity to want to unite the communities together so we all succeed, right?
Yeah,
All supporting one another, uh, getting into different NFTs because diversity is key. And for myself, I just love it. I love the fact that that's what we're doing.
yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, like I said, I was hyped since the very beginning about this whole project. And yeah, obviously I'm supposed to say enough financial advice and do your own research, but definitely when I say do your own research, really do it, ladies and gentlemen. And you will find a lot of things very interesting when it comes to the Bollocks project. Um, okay, so real quick before we speak about anything else and your experience with the market and just having a regular conversation, have you heard of Aptos?
I have not, and that's why I'm here today. You and I were conversing back and forth, and you said that you're going to have Aptos on your YouTube channel, and I'm like, great, I want to learn about it. So I'm very excited to have you go over this and uh, talk to me about it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I myself not sure 100%. I keep on hearing that it might be the Solana killer. You could put um you could it's basically another Solana type of uh blockchain where you could build platform, build apps on it and everything else. So now what I did found interesting about this coin is that right away it went on Binance, Huobi Global, F- FTX, KuCoin. I'm trying to see if they do show all the markets here. And from $2 and something, it went all the way up to 10.57. So let's just say real quick, all the exchange here: Binance, Huobi Global, FTX, Coinbase, which that's a pretty good one, Bitfinex, Kraken, Gate.io, Bybit, MEXC, Femex. I'm telling you the ones that I do know, like right off the bat, that are pretty good. And give me 1 second. I have a little bee, which is my daughter, trying to give me my attention. Hold on.
Not a problem, Waddy. How's everybody doing tonight? Um, it's great to see people from the community here. Has anybody else heard of Aptos? And I'm actually very impressed with the amount of volume that they're doing, and actually where they're setting. And I'm just curious as to where um, where they are in the blockchain. Is it already is it developed and can? I mean, I'm just curious. Is it a Solana killer? I mean, it's
Yeah, well, this is what calls my attention, and that's why I say, you know what, let me just bring it up to people's attention, because being able to get in 65 exchange, like not even a month, not even a week, I believe. And that's the part where I felt like, okay, let me look into it, and I'll read into it right here. So we're about to both find out a little bit of what exactly this project is and what is it that they are trying to do. Committed to developing products and application on the Aptos blockchain that redefine the Web3 user experience. Okay. Let me see if the team is fully doxed, which that's one thing I like to make sure in any project. Um, Not much of a team. Mo Shaikh and Avery Ching created Aptos to fulfill the vision of bringing fair access to decentralization to all through a safe, upgradable, and scalable blockchain network. The Aptos team is made up of a highly accomplished team of engineer, researcher, strategist, designer, and builder, all committed to delivering universal and equitable access to decentralization that is capable of scaling for billions of people. Much of the Aptos team is credited with developing the technical innovation that powered the Aptos blockchain, including the original creator of the move language, move power, and block STM parallel execution engine and narwhal and bullshark consensus mechanism. So that says a lot about that. Um, okay, this is what it does. So I'm not gonna go through everything. Um, the future proof of network with a unique combination of safety, user experience. Oh, he got rug.
I'm back.
Hey, Clink, I didn't even notice you was gone. I apologize for that.
No, I got rugged.
Yeah, I figure. Okay, so basically, just talking about the future proof of network, simplify language, amplify security, sustainable improvements, scalable and reliable, simple development, enjoyable. So it looks pretty good. Now, what I want to find out exactly is the same question that you have. How is this the Solana killer? Other than right off the back, it went on so many exchanges. And if you take a look at this chart, it looks pretty nice. Well, on Binance, I don't know when that happened. It says it went all the way to $100, and it started at $1, and right now it's about $9.60. What you think about that?
Well, if you take a look at like Sushi Swap, any type, I mean, Binance, all of them, right? All those swaps and those exchanges, um, that's really, I think, a great deal because a lot of those, I mean, Sushi Swap, if you take a look back just before this bear market, they were sitting roughly at $17 or $19. So I think $8 is still a steal on this. And I like the fact that they are scalable, um, and they're already on big exchanges. So that's something.
Yeah, my only concern about this is like I do believe it could still run, obviously, even though right now it's indicating that it should slightly drop some more. But like when I see the squeeze on the Bollinger Band, usually I don't jump in because I'm not sure exactly what's gonna happen. So it looks like for the past couple of hours, it's just been kind of trading sideways ever since they hit the all-time high, which technically is the $100. But according to this right here, it's about more or less like 10, 10.50, right? So
Yeah, but what you're looking at there, I mean, the nice thing about that is you're not seeing huge sell-offs. It's like you said, going sideways. Um, it's not real volatile. Looks actually really stable to me.
yeah,
Um, and that's amazing for just being a new launch.
yeah. This is the 1 hour chart, which is looking pretty steady too. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people is talking about this project. So I figured, you know what? Let me do a little bit of research. And since my name is Wally the Crypto Hunter, well, I was hunting this one down for a bit. I saw it when it was around $5. I didn't jump into it because I didn't have enough. I didn't do my proper homework. Then the second time I looked at it again, it was at $7, and then all of a sudden I see it at $10 and yeah, like 50 cents. Daniel Gayton in the house. What's going on, bro? Daniel, I did send you a question, but I'm not sure if you did got it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you can, it's all right. No worries, man. So yeah, Klein, uh, this is what I've been looking at, and this is what I'm keeping my eye on, just because I see the possibility that I'm not saying now, but eventually over time it could start going on to maybe the 50, 40, $30 area.
Oh yeah, definitely. What's their? Sorry, I'm on my phone here. So, what's what are
The
we looking
ticker,
at on their market cap right now?
or the market cap, it is actually fully diluted, or market cap. It says about 1,246,656,418, and the volume in 24 hours has been 869,928,264.
So they're doing really good volume.
Yeah.
Market cap looks good.
Yes.
Um, so and like I said, with this blockchain, obviously people are using that blockchain. Would you say
Yeah.
they're ranked 20?
The rank right now. Where's the rank? 42. Wow.
So yeah, they're that's really good. I'm gonna have to jump into this a little bit more, do a little more research on it. But like I said, this really piqued my interest when you said this was the Solana killer. So I got to check this out. This is amazing.
Okay. And hold on. Clint, Daniel, I just read your message. I'm working on that. We're going to have another helper with us, which is Daniel Gayton. And yeah. So basically, now you as an investor, usually, or how many years you have in the market?
2016, 15, 16, right in there. So it's been a while.
Yeah. So you as an investor, like if you look at a project like this, would it pique your interest, or you regardless you would do your homework and then see where it goes?
Well, definitely. I advise everybody to do their homework on it. Make sure and make sure this is something that you're wanting to invest in. I think that it's on KuCoin already. Somebody had shared.
Oh, yeah, Tim Shea, it's basically on all major exchange. That's why it caught my attention because it's on Binance, Huobi Global, KuCoin, Coinbase, and just to get on Coinbase alone, that
Exactly.
says a lot. Yeah.
So, like for this one here, I mean, we're really looking at the blue chip side of this. Uh, and I'm curious. Like I said, once we get done, I'm gonna actually jump on and take a look and do my due diligence as well. But the potential is there. I mean, even before we get out of this bear market, that you could be sitting at 16, $17 probably within the next week or two.
Yes. Totally agree. See, what I'm waiting to see on it, it's obviously right now I've been seeing it kind of go sideways between the let's say 9:30 to like 10:30, more or less, like a dollar difference. And I want to see when it actually does a breakout, whether if it goes up or down, that's gonna, tell me whether I invest on it or not. Because at the end of the day, I do see the potential. Um, it also kind of remind me of ICP. I don't know if you ever heard of that one before.
I have, yes.
Yeah. So Tim Shea says that's nuts. Hey, cry baby. Say my wife is in the house.
I think
So yeah, Daniel, I just sent you the link, bro. If you're still here. So ICP actually did pretty good. When I took a look at it, I didn't know that it was gonna go as high as it went. So that's one of the thing about the blue chips, that when they do launch it, some of them is an opportunity that you just cannot ignore. Like for example, even though Luna is doing, not so good right now, but nobody thought Luna was gonna make it to around the $130 area. Just like I'm pretty sure nobody thought that ICP was gonna make it to around the same area. Now it's currently down, obviously, because of the bear market, but it still has a future. Uh, oh, we got Daniel in the house. What's going on, Daniel? No. Can you hear us?
There he is. Hey, Daniel, how you doing?
Daniel, you are rugging on us, brother. I was looking at Aptos just before I saw you where thumbnail might be something. Oh, yeah, Tim. That's how I was like, you know what? Let me bring this coin up. Daniel, can you hear me? Probably where he's at is bad internet.
Yeah, he's getting the breakup, the digital breakup.
Yeah. So, all right. Now let's just talk. In the meantime, Daniel gets back. Um, what do you think about the market?
Well, I think the market right now, I mean, I think we're gonna have a little more turn down just because the holidays are coming, right? Uh, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Uh, we're going to have a little more of a dip, and possibly see Ethereum setting at about $1,000 probably by Christmas or New Year's even. Um, before it starts going back up. But if you take a look at the 200, the 50-day and the 200-day, uh, I say we're going to be right about there, and then we're going to see a little rise. But right now, you can see the squeeze coming.
Yeah. No, this is my guide right here. That 200 moving average, which we were also having a conversation about that we kind of coincide with the same um, analysis or the same opinion that as long as this moving average, which is the 200 moving average, doesn't get anywhere near, you know, that's just a sign to me that we're still on a bear market.
Oh yeah, that most definitely. And then you got to factor in as well. Like I said, holidays are coming in. Um, the world's economy, the U.S. economy, and where we're sitting on interest with the Feds. Because I
Yeah.
think who's to say if they don't bump it up one more time before the end of the year? I think they'd like to. The housing market's setting right now. If you're going to buy a house, you're going to pay about 7% on that money that you borrow for that house. So it's gonna just people are gonna pull back because they're not gonna have the money available to spend in crypto. So I
Yeah.
think we're gonna trade sideways for a little bit. We're gonna probably do a little dip though, like I said, for the holidays, which is fine. But I think we're gonna be in a bear market probably. Boy, oh boy, I don't want to give.
No, no. I mean, I'll be honest. Don't give it. But according to what I seen and everything else, I would say until 2024, I wouldn't get my hopes up. That's all I'm saying. If a miracle happens and it changes the narrative, then perfect.
That's my thought is 2023 is going to be pretty much a full bear market all the way through, until things change, right? And not just the U.S. but the world's economy. Um,
Yeah.
right now, we're getting hurt by that, right? So it's not just the U.S. It's the world's economy. So I think, yeah, 2024, end of 2023, 2024, we should launch into a bear or a bull run. So I think we do these cycles every 10 years. 15 years where the economy kind of, the world's economy kind of goes to crap. Then they get it back under control, with the feds and the world banks and stuff. So right
Yeah,
now we're setting at that probably for the next year.
totally agree with you. Daniel, are you there with us?
I think so. How are you, Waddy?
I am good, good. And yourself?
Not bad. Got some spotty internet connection, but I figured I'd hop on with you.
No, no, I appreciate you. You met Clement before, right?
What's that, Waddy?
Have you met Clement before?
No, I haven't. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Nice to meet you.
You too. You too. Caught a
Uh,
little bit what you guys were talking about. You guys were talking a little bit about the economy and kind of where we're at.
yeah.
Uh,
So, what's your opinion on that, Daniel?
I think that we're going to sit in this bear market 2023. I think we're probably going to sit in it, probably going into 2024 a little bit. We'll have some spikes. We'll have some little runs here and there, but I don't think we're going to see a bull market until 2024. I think right now we're just kind of in a holding pattern. Um, with the way the economy is, it's a world economy thing. Inflation, debt, war. There's a lot of things going on. So I think we'll sit here until at least 2024.
And I agree
Yeah,
with that. I think, not even thinking about that, but the war in Ukraine, I think that's going to be drug out. Obviously, Russia has an agenda, but it's affecting everybody, world economy and crypto economy. So, and I got to agree. That's what I think as well.
And
yeah,
and plus, the way that the United States right now is they're just, this is a federal induced recession. Um,
yeah,
so obviously they printed so much money during COVID and gave it out, which I call it artificial money into the market. Everybody was taking their COVID stimulus checks, and all the businesses were taking them PPE loans and pumping them back into the economy.
um,
And eventually,
I,
that artificial money has to run out, and that's kind of where we are right now.
yeah. No, and I was gonna say, regardless, like even what really has me a little bit concerned. I don't know if you read upon Biden's executive order when it comes to crypto.
Yeah, the one where he signed, where he allowed the SEC and the other agency to look into crypto and come back with recommendations for him.
No, actually, another one. Clint, did you see that one? That
Yes. That they are going to incorporate cryptocurrency. They're going to make, obviously, they're going to put on the US side of crypto, they're going to make the exchanges KYC, and they're going to
AML.
start with regulations on it, right? So, a couple different things. Government gets their hands into things, it does seem to mess it up. On the other hand, though, if they can help get rid of a lot of the bad actors within the crypto community, right, going after them on basically theft, I think it would be better for crypto as a whole. Um, but again, like I said, they right now can't manage a country. How are they going to manage crypto?
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. Because see, what kind of got to me is because they're gonna. Okay, I'll use the word force. They're forcing every exchange and customers to KYC, to go through the money laundry. I think it's called AML, anti money laundry. Um, the other one was the FCC, and there was another one, but I don't remember exactly. So every exchange is gonna have to do that, which obviously it's gonna mean that everybody is going to kind of be spied on in a sense.
Well, it's no
Yeah.
different than banking, right? Um, the government knows what you do, how you do it with just your banking itself. It doesn't matter if you're using credit union or state bank or whatever. They know what everybody's doing, so it's not much different. Even though we're supposed to be DeFi with no regulation, but we all knew this is coming down. And right now, I think it's going country by country as they accept stablecoin, Bitcoin, uh, that type of cryptocurrency. They're going to put regulations on it, right? And it's pretty much to squash, well, besides getting rid of the bad actors, it's to make sure that they get their money in taxes.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with.
Well,
Go ahead, Daniel.
yeah, I mean, and when you look at regulation and where they're headed, KYC and like everybody's saying here, it's really to allow the government to get their cut and to make sure that people are legitimate that are rolling out projects. Um, as much as we in the cryptocurrency world like to be decentralized and not KYC and stuff like that, and I'm a firm believer in order for the new big money to come in and the new big players to come in, the crypto space has to be secure for them to do that. And I think with regulation, you will see more and more of the big hedge funds, the big money, and all that start to come into the crypto market, which we need. Because if you look at the total overall crypto market cap, we've been hovering around that 9.5 billion dollar market cap. And if you go back and look at the last bull run we were in, we were around that $2 trillion market cap. So you need that big money to come in to pump the markets up. And I think the only way they're coming is with these types of regulations. So, um, it's just a matter of how far the government's going to go. The government has a history and a track record of just absolutely over regulating the market, and the fact that they don't understand blockchain and they don't understand crypto is
Yeah.
what scares me, because they're trying to regulate something that they don't know. They have no idea what they're regulating, and that's the scary part. And I think XRP is showing that um, the SEC has zero um, knowledge in what they're trying to regulate.
Yeah. And I think I was talking to you, Daniel, or somebody else, where, I was saying, like, no offense to anybody, but the House of Senate, the House of Representatives is full of dinosaurs. So, like I said, I don't want to offend anybody in that case, but they don't know blockchain. They don't understand blockchain, so they don't even know what the hell is Bitcoin in a sense. And some of them do. It's probably because their grandson or you know somebody else told them, "Well, look into this," but yet they still don't really fully comprehend it.
Yeah, I agree, and that's the part that should scare everybody right there, is that they're trying to regulate something that they don't understand, and they need to surround themselves with experts and blockchain experts in order to come up with really good, solid regulation. And will they do that? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Right now, it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Yeah. And Clint, what was your input on that?
Well, again, they don't know the technology that's been developed, right? And that's evolving. Crypto space is evolving. It's getting worldwide acceptance, and they're behind. You're right; they are dinosaurs. And why we keep voting in 80-year-old uh, that guys that have been in the Senate for since 40 years ago just dumbfounds me when we need new blood, new ideas, because what they've done is their comfort zone, right? They make millions of dollars as the taxpayers and the working man pay
Correct.
out. We're paying out the ear so to support them, and they've been printing money with COVID like it's water, right? Right now we're looking at our grandchildren's grandchildren's grandchildren will never pay off the debt that we have incorporated due to uh, the COVID, right? So, do we need regulation? We do need regulation, right? Um, do we need the government dipping their fingers into every part of cryptocurrency? No, not really. Like I said, they can't manage the U.S., let alone you know anything else without screwing it up. And that's my biggest fear is they start putting regulations in it, then they really try. Once they write up laws, then they're going to be putting their fingers into every aspect of it, and they will. How do you put it? They will incorporate so many laws that you're bound to break one of them with every law that they'll write up on it to make sure that they get their money. Um, that's the sad truth. And they've been doing this now as long as I can remember. So, but on the plus side, again, we need regulation. We do need regulation to weed out the bad actors, these hacks, to where they can go after these people that have uh, robbed people millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars, um, you know, and arrest them. And if it's KYC, everybody, obviously the wallet addresses will be tracked, and then at that point, maybe it can be retrieved back. Right now, you're at the mercy of everybody else. But you know,
Yeah,
if the government gets too much into it, you're going to see crypto do the same thing that the gold standard did, and that's go right down the crapper.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think you're gonna start to see the centralized exchanges with the KYC first, like they're doing, because that's easy, right? That's the low hanging fruit. That's the easy piece. And then I think you'll see the stable coins follow very quickly. I think you'll see an out straight up ban in the United States on algorithmic, and I can't ever say that, stable coins. And
Algorithmic.
yeah, and then I think you'll see the United States actually come out with their own digital dollar at some point, to kind of offset a little bit of that. I think that's how they're really going to start to track people, is with their own digital dollar. I think that's going to be what you're going to need to onboard and offboard on the centralized exchanges. And I think that's what the banks will accept. And I think that's how they're going to get their taxes. Once you onboard and offboard with that digital dollar, that the United States digital dollar, they're going to tax the hell out of you for that. But going after DeFi will probably be the last
Yeah, I
piece.
think that's that. No, no, go ahead, Daniel.
Going after DeFi will probably be the last piece This is just my assumptions, guys, and it will probably be the last piece that the United States goes after because it's so complicated. It's so they really do not have a clue on what they're doing. So go after. I think you'll see them go after that low hanging fruit first. You're going to see them go after them centralized exchanges, and then you'll see them go after the stable coins, and then you'll see them implement their own stable coin to really truly track the onboarding and offboarding of money, and then they'll figure out how to go after DeFi.
Yeah, I agree because the whole DeFi part, that's the part that I'm gonna find that they're even themselves gonna find extremely difficult to do because you can go to Uniswap and say, well, we need you guys to KYC. You can do the same thing for Pancake Swap either. So it is a decentralized exchange for a reason. And unfortunately, that's where all the real bad actors, or majority of them, is it, which is DeFi.
I
So
think I think you will see them eventually go after Uniswap, and they eventually will go after the pancake swaps
yeah,
once they figure out what they're actually looking at.
yeah. Well, I hope it's probably 20 years from now.
No, I bet you it's probably going to be sooner than that, probably within the next 5 years. But you're right. I mean, they need to, and obviously they're going to have people that are experienced in it. That they're going to have to consult these people to understand what they're dealing with. And DeFi will be the last thing. It's no different than like when they went after the dark web, right?
Yeah.
And they took over the internet. Actually, there's two internets right here in the U.S. One is specifically for the federal government, and the other one we think it's a free internet, but it's heavily monitored. Let's put it that way by the federal government and the FBI and CIA and all that stuff. So with things that take place on the blockchain, there there is a way for them to negate um, a lot of these exchanges that don't want to comply. Right? They'll just shut them down, and they can do it from this side. They can block them from coming in. Um, there's a lot of different things that the government has access to that most people do not realize. And if they want, they will shut them down if they don't comply with the rules and the regulations, and leaving us with just those exchanges that have complied with all the rules and the regulations that are coming up.
Yeah, so I live in New York State, right? So my access to centralized exchanges is limited. It's limited. It's limited to Binance. I mean, not Binance, but it's limited to Coinbase, and it's limited to Gemini as the actual big centralized exchanges you can use in New York. But
Mhm.
you're right. They can shut you down anytime. The government can shut centralized exchanges down anytime they want. It's no different than other countries that don't allow um you know certain exchanges in their country. They just shut their access off to be able to do that. So at any moment in time the United States government can hit a switch on a centralized exchange and say you're banned from the US, and it's over for that centralized exchange in the United States. So
Yeah,
yeah, they have more control. They have more control than what we think.
the perfect example is the regular Binance. Binance was okay, it was doing fine. It had US customers. And then the minute they was like, you know what? We can have this. We need to have, if Binance wanna participate in our country, they have to make a Binance US. Now Binance US, you gotta put your social. So right there automatically you're done. Everything you do has to get recorded, and obviously you gotta pay your taxes without a problem because you don't have a choice.
Well, and with that, you're right. Binance had to go U.S. Based Binance. You think about it, Voyager, Crypto.com, SoFi, all these wallets or exchanges. You know, they have to do business here. They have to follow the rules and regulations. And if they don't, so right now, I've already had 2 days ago, I had Coinbase already asked me to KYC, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
did. I don't have nothing to hide. Um, you
Mhm.
know, and you know, uh, most people don't realize it though. It's only when you pull your money out of those exchanges that you're taxed on it, right?
Correct.
That gains tax. So if you then deposited it right now into a bank, say you made $10,000, then you're taxable on that $10,000. If you leave it on the exchange, and how most of these are getting around it, they're offering you up a debit card on their exchange, right? So Coinbase has their own debit card. Uh, you know, Crypto.com has theirs. It never really comes off the exchange. And the taxable amount is what you're spending off of the debit card. So that's how you would avoid a lot of these big taxes. Or you take your NFTs and you donate those to the American Cancer Society, any legitimate um, what the U.S. government considers legitimate type charities, and then you can write off half of whatever the set price is for that NFT. So if you list it on OpenSea for 3 months at say, you know, 300 ETH, and it doesn't sell, that actually becomes the price of that NFT because that was the last listing of that NFT. That's what you value it at. So then you can take that, donate it for quote quote the 300 ETH to whatever, um, St. Jude's, whatever, whoever you do, but you want to make sure it's a legitimate organization that's on the blockchain so it can be tracked. And then that is all, half of it's a write off. You get 50% of that as a write off. So if you make big money, this is what you're going to want to do.
Yeah, and when you think about it, like we were talking about before, it's going to become a lot easier for the United States to track this stuff when they come up with their digital dollar. That only the banks will accept that digital dollar. Um, when you onboard and offboard, and that it's going to be attached to you. You know, what I mean, you can't skate the taxes. You know, you got to pay taxes on your stuff, and you can't skate around it or I mean, yeah, there's ways to write off things and do things like that, but ultimately, the United States government sees the value of crypto and they see the amount of people that are in it. And at the end of the day, they want their cut and they're going to get their cut.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
here's the nice thing. As we evolve, think about it. We are only 3% of the world's population that's in crypto right now, right? 3%. So when the whole world merges over, because everybody's going to it, with the exception right now, quote, quote, that China's not getting into it, even though they keep buying up Bitcoin. Um, their centralized bank is buying a ton of Bitcoin. That's what, 40 trillion, $100 trillion of growth in say the next 5 to 10 years as it becomes worldwide acceptance and everybody, because at one point they're just going to do away with fiat altogether. I mean, most people now don't carry cash. They debit, they use a credit card, they do something other than cash, right? It's so much easier. So
correct.
to move over into that realm for the US government shouldn't be real hard within the next 5 years. Your banks, everything. I mean, you'll just have online banks. There won't even be offices. They won't need to do any offices. It'll be done on the blockchain. You can view your transaction. You deposited this much from your employer to your wallet, right? And you just eliminated the middleman.
True.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think I don't think fiat's along for the ride on long term. I think your digital wallets, whatever that looks like, your digital wallets will be the future of how we pay bills, how we debit, how we our money comes in and goes out. It's all going to be on digital wallets, and and with the younger kids coming up, you gotta, people have to understand too, like these younger kids, man, and in the younger generation, they're taking us in a whole nother direction that we're all living it now in increments like 3%, but you know the younger generation believes in what's going on here on the blockchain, and so they're the ones that are going to lead this revolution.
Well, and
So
I think that, we're really fortunate in a lot of ways that um, the younger generation are leading us because as an older guy, um, you know, I would have never dreamt about this, right? I've been in telecommunications and dealing with technology for 30 plus years, right? And I've seen a lot of changes, but this is one of those changes. I know when I first heard of Bitcoin, I'm not, well, what, I was like when they were first talking about internet, well, that'll never happen. But here we are, right? You start looking at it and you go, wait a minute, it makes sense. I don't deal in cash. I don't deal in cash. I everything I do is off of my directly from my debit card to whatever, and that's how everything is actually paid. So I really appreciate the younger generation bringing forward new ideas, new ideology. They're actually helping us evolve as we go, right? Um, and that's great. That I think is amazing that they have a whole different outlook than what we were brought up to think. Right now, they're thinking and expanding our horizon and dragging us along with them. Right, we're fortunate enough to be in that position that we recognize what they're doing is something that is amazing and great, and we're here for them. I just love it.
I,
Yeah.
I'm with you. I couldn't agree more. I'm happy that the younger generation is pushing us in a new direction, because if it was up to us, we would have the same old thing that we've had for the next 15, the last 50, 60 years. I'm actually happy that
Uh,
they're pushing
Danny,
us in this
I'm sorry.
direction because
No, I'm sorry. Let me
go ahead,
answer that.
Waddy.
The crypto shop babe is T Hobbs. And he said what up earlier, but I didn't want to interrupt you guys. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Daniel.
What's up, Hobbs? But no, I was just saying I'm actually happy that the younger generation is pushing the envelope on us because I think we all got comfortable with where we're at and using our debit cards, and just where everything is, and they're pushing the envelope when it comes to technology, and I'm happy they're doing it because they know a whole hell of a lot more about this stuff than I do, and I'm not scared to admit that. But I'm just happy that they're pushing us and continue to push us, and I encourage them to continue to push the envelope.
I agree. I've been doing, man, I have been doing a lot of studying for a educational website on the blockchain, on cryptocurrencies, just the complete breakdown of it, right? And it's it's not for everybody, right? To go and read page after page after page and how it's built, what the securities protocols are, all these different things. But it's amazing the design that they have come up with. I am just blown away by it, and it's been a great experience for me this past week as I'm helping build an educational page for people to learn about crypto, right? And we're talking from doing it crypto 101 all the way up to the advanced user using AI technology when doing your trading. So this whole thing for me is just amazing, and I'm blown away by it. And you know, I love it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Waddy, I will say to you, I'm sorry I missed the conversation. I was a little late about Aptos because,
oh no,
I would
no,
have.
no. No. Basically, I was saying that it's kind of. I'm gonna backtrack real quick. That I found it surprising how in such a short time it got on so many exchanges and even top exchanges. It's basically on Binance, Coinbase, KuCoin. So what else or where else can you possibly put it from here?
Well,
So
Aptos. So my understanding, because there's coins like everybody was shocked when you know when other coins went straight to Coinbase, but they did everything specifically to get onto that Coinbase, right? So I'm going to research this Aptos tonight, but my thought is they made sure before they launched that they had all their ducks in a row to be put on these top exchanges. Um, and I'm right now, like I said, I could see this topping out here probably within the next couple weeks. I mean, obviously the market's trading sideways, but this has a really potential to, like I said, from that 15 to $17 mark. And I got to check it out, man. I'm kind of geeked about it.
but yeah.
Well,
Let me address the chat real quick before you get into it, Daniel. Uh, Queen Olivia, Crybaby, the Candy Shop. I got all the flavors. Um, no, what up, T Hobbs? I appreciate you being here, showing the love and support, man. Means a lot to me. And everybody else in the chat, behave, be nice. He's a friend. Go ahead, Daniel.
I was just about to say, with Aptos, I did a little bit of research in it, and I actually bought some. Um, that was a that excuse me, it was actually the Meta. When they started talking about their blockchain, the developers of Aptos were the ones that started to develop Meta's blockchain for them.
Yeah,
And when Meta folded their development up, these guys took it over. And I think because they have a lot of the Meta backing is one of the reasons why they were able to secure some of them exchanges, much like when ApeCoin came out, because they were connected with the Board Ape Yacht Club is the only reason they got it listed on all them exchanges when they came out. The Board Ape Yacht Club backed them, and right now Aptos seems like it has the backing of Meta, which is a big deal. And as I was looking at it, Aptos, the only thing that really concerns me a lot about that particular project is the
uh,
current market cap diluted against the diluted market cap, right? And it looks like right now where the market cap sits and then the fully diluted market cap is, it looks like if the only reason it scares me is because if for some reason they decided to release the total supply, which will never happen. I mean, you're looking at a big, huge tank in the price of Aptos. I don't think that they would ever do that. I don't think that they would ever have a reason to. But that is really the only thing that really scares me. I don't like them calling themselves the Solana killers when you really haven't produced anything yet.
yeah.
But I got in at you know me, Waddy. I'm pretty honest with everybody and pretty straight up. I got
Mhm.
in at around 750. And it's one of these projects. I think I'll get in. I'll sit on it. I'll see what happens. see which direction they go. Um, they had a pretty rough launch with their airdrops and some Discord um, stuff that they had going on, which made it the launch not as successful as they would have liked. But at the end of the day, it's a layer one blockchain, so they're launching a layer one blockchain that you can get in at. I got in at $7.50. So to me, it was just worth taking a shot at.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
I agree. And like I said, once we get off here, I'm gonna jump on it and take a look myself. Um, I still think it has potential for mooning again. I mean, you're sitting at what, $9 now.
hmm,
Um, if it is really Solana killer, then obviously it's got to be faster. The transactions got to be super cheap.
I
Um,
agree.
and with it being scalable, it's very possible, right? So it's going to be interesting. I want to jump in and take a look at you know uh, how their blockchain was created and what security protocols that they do have in it, because that there in itself is really huge. So I'm going to really delve into it. And what I'll do, Wadi, is, once I've looked into it, I will get back with you on it. Then you can update uh, your audience. But I'll jump into it full heartedly. Give me this weekend to look into it.
Yeah, no, take your time, and I appreciate that. I gotta do some research myself, and I guess between all three of us, compare notes.
Yeah, I put out a video on Aptos when it first was launched, and it was one of them. It was one of them ones where I didn't do a lot of research on it, but I was just like, "Hey, look, new layer one blockchain coming out. You might want to take a look at this. It's launched at $9, and now it's down to 750. Because they had some issues, but it's one of these projects. I mean, even would Solana go up to $200 at one point, somewhere close to there, at
Right.
their all
Yeah,
time high? They were right around $20. They went on a bull run there, got up to 200. You know, so the potential's there, but the risk is also there as well. So
yeah.
Well,
No,
and let's
that's where you gotta see which one is which percentage is bigger, the risk or the reward.
right,
Yeah,
and then you have to also understand too, if they're calling themselves the killer of another blockchain. Think about what happened with Shibe and Dodge, right? Shibe really pumped because it drew in people, right? They got excited. They were uh, really excited about the fact that they really thought they were going to kill Dogecoin, right? That
yeah,
Dogecoin wouldn't be around anymore. And so you may get that kind of FOMO into apt, into this. Um, Adapt. Like again, like I said, I got to check it out and really see, uh, are they a killer or is it just more of a BS type deal on
yeah.
the blockchain?
Is it just FOMO? That's it.
Right.
Yeah,
And that's what I want to see. But legitimately, if they are faster, the transactions are instant, and it's like I said, very cheap. And how many transactions do they do per millisecond? That's are we talking hundreds of thousands? Are we talking 10,000? Those are the things that we got to look at because
yeah.
each
That's actually one of the things that I was trying to find, unless it's in the white paper, but I didn't see how many transactions per second.
yeah, I remember somebody referencing that over the last couple of days, but I couldn't figure out where they found it either. So, but it, They got a lot. Aptos got a lot of work to do, to call themselves a Solana killer. But like I said, I was out of the country for a couple of days before I bought in, and I was actually surprised to see it today at like the 950 level, because I
Yeah.
bought it before I left, and I fully expected to have to DC in when I got off. I was, so I actually was surprised to see it up today. To tell you the truth,
Right
No, I mean, I
now,
was looking at the chart and I did say I see a dip coming, which look at that right there. And basically, I was waiting for the breakout. So usually, because the other day I made $70 up from it, I literally shorted $100. So, but usually from what I saw on the 4 hour chart, right here you cannot see it as clear as on the phone for some reason. But yeah, when I saw the chart, I said, you know what? This looks like it's about a dump. Then I have the indicators telling me that it's about a dump, and I see it here. So I was like, okay, I was gonna put in another short, but then I said, you know what? Since right now a lot of people is FOMOing into the project, it might not be a good idea because instead of going down, somebody could just make a huge green candle and boom.
yeah. And my thing is based on the research that we all kind of bring back to each other will
Yeah,
dictate whether or not Aptos is a short term play or a long term play.
yeah. I mean, like I told Clayton, the thing that did caught my attention because we saw that happen with ApeCoin and there was another one, but they didn't make it to Binance yet. It's called Gary Network, and they got listed in like 10 exchange immediately. So I found that to be interesting. It had a nice bump, but right now it also had a nice dump. So does the token has a future? Yeah, because they're using it with it's how you call it, a Middle East TikTok app that uses it. So it already has utility, for people that uses the it's called Shingarali. People that uses that app gets to earn tokens. You create videos, you earn the tokens. So all that is cool, but now the my concern is why did it drop so much? So that's the part that we all got to figure out as far as where Aptos is going. But it did kind of impress me that it went on Binance and Coinbase right away.
And here's one of the things that I try to, that caught my attention was it's one thing to get listed on exchanges coming out of the gate.
Mhm.
It's another thing to get listed on tier one exchanges coming out of the gate.
Yep.
So there's something going on when you can get listed on tier ones on its day of launch.
Yep.
There's something else brewing there, and I believe it's the Meta partnership, much like I said before, Ape Coins Board Ape Yacht Club partnership.
Mhm.
And that's just my assumption, and I have no background or inside knowledge on that. I'm just assuming that when somebody says that they're connected to Meta, people listen.
Yeah. Totally agree with you there. What's your input on all this, Clint?
well, I got to agree. That, like I said, that really opens up your eyes when you're going, man, they're already listed on tier ones. that it makes you set up and take notice, and you're like, I got to find out what's going on. Um, Now, as for the little bit of sell off, I mean, we looked at it. It looks like they're probably going to dip a little bit more. They'll hit a resistance level, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a sell off. It looks pretty flat coming across from where they're at now, right? And you did a 4 hour. It looks like it's staying about what you said. They're going to have do a little dump,
Hmm.
but they probably won't dip below that $7 mark. And I think that then it's going to start gradually going back up, especially with, like I said, your your developers are, they were developing the metaverse, and now they've developed this blockchain. That's huge. Um, Again, I just don't see them going anywhere too fast, or leaving, going to the wayside, dropping off. I think they'll continually grow, but they got to offer more than just a TikTok. Um, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's not going to take out Solana.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see because Solana still has its issues. So if it actually happens, I guess we shall see. Um, but look, this is the Gotti network. It went all the way to 90 cents. It dropped here, went back up here, right? And then this was the thing that caught everybody by surprise. This huge ass drop. And this coin right here, it's
Well,
on
that looks like a huge one person selling, dumping their
yeah,
bag.
yeah. So look, it went on KuCoin right away, MEXC, FEMX, a token, Bidmar, Kraken, FTX, Huobi Global. Like it didn't make it to Coinbase or Binance, but like 10 top exchange right off the back, the same exact day. So, like I said, does it have a future? Possible. Did I like that huge ass drop? No. And from here on, I'm just observing it from far. That's all I'm doing.
Well, and that's the thing though. On the launch of that, what they should have been doing is running and taking a look at the top wallets, right? Even before the launch, who holds the most tokens in that, right? If we're talking a developer or whatever, because there's going to be a big dump. It's just a matter of time, whether it's a month or 2 weeks or whatever. But when you got that big of a dump, so that's one sale that just killed that market. Now,
Yeah.
will it recover? It's very, very possible, but that's again your homework. Do your homework. Jump on there, find out what the wallet addresses are, who's holding the most tokens, if anybody. Is it a fair launch? Just all those things you want to take a look at.
Yeah, and with Aptos, like I said before, the one thing that really holds me back from going in even more, like I just dipped my toes in that water, was that their market cap versus their fully diluted market cap, and that's the one thing that's a worry for me. Um, so I'm gonna pay attention to see what happens with that and where that goes. But that's definitely a concern when you look at how they're set up currently.
Yeah. What you guys think of this comment? What's going on, Steve? It said the only reason these coins can get on one day is supply and money. They have small supply, so exchange can do it, and they drop 700K to list someday. Money does everything. That project is the same as the rest.
Binance doesn't keep one Binance doesn't keep one dime from listing fees. They donate them all. So money
Yeah.
does not run the listing fees do not run Binance. Binance wants good, solid projects on their platform, and if it costs them 700,000 to list on their platform, that's 700,000 that they're going to donate. So they're not even keeping that cash. So um, I agree that with what he's saying, that money does make a difference on a lot of these exchanges. But I think when you get to a tier one exchange, they're only listing projects that they believe is going to bring in volume for them, because that's the only way they make money is volume. They don't
Yep,
make money because your token's got a cute name on it. They make money because your token's trading $3 million a day.
that's true. That's true. And the volume on Aptos is pretty good too. So, but if I go to Binance tomorrow with 300K to list the project, they will list it.
Not a
Uh,
chance.
Binance, see, this is the one thing that some people gotta understand. Binance doesn't just list anything. The same as Coinbase. They do their due diligence really well before they even list any token.
Coinbase might be the most pickiest tier one exchange to get listed on.
Yup.
And that's the one thing is, and I'll let everybody else speak on it, Clint too, because I want to get his opinion on it. But to me, when you talk about a lower level exchange and a mid level exchange, that argument might hold water. But I
Yeah.
think when you get to a tier one exchange, they don't care about your listing fee. It's
Mhm.
about volume. It's all about volume, volume, volume. Your listing fees are drops in the bucket to them. So,
Yeah. And like what the crypto shop says, uh centralized exchange don't list anything for money. That if that were true, most DeFi project would be on centralized exchange. See, both they spend 700K in marketing and other exchanges for sure.
and
So yeah,
and that
that's incorrect.
and that's kind of what I've been saying, Waddy, is
Yeah.
that's just not accurate. That's not 100% accurate, because it's about volume. And if it was just about money, do you know how many DeFi projects that don't have utility and probably won't be around in the next 12 months would be listed on tier one exchanges just because they could throw that much money at the exchange off of somebody else's taxes? Like that when you get to a tier one, that argument, it doesn't hold water. It's just not true.
No, and not only that, like for example, what was it? Save Moon? Save Moon has a huge community and they had the money, but guess what? Binance never accepted them. And there were people harassing Binance, when Save Moon. And you know what Binance did? They made it public. You still continue to harass us, and we will never list you. And did they ever did? No.
Mm. You look at some of these communities that are out here around the DeFi projects, they are strong. Just take the Volt any Inu community as an example. I love their community. And if it was all about community and all about money, Volt would be listed on every single tier one exchange in the world.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
And
See,
reading the comments, I was gonna say crypto shops like right on the mark. Tier ones, they don't give a shit about $700,000. That's they do that like you said in an hour.
hmm
And I know with what Bollocks is doing, just being part of that inner group and what he's had to go through, just for the possibility of being listed on a tier one exchange in the future. He's trying to make sure that he does everything that is required of him to make it there, right? And it's not about the cash. And number one that you said too is volume. He had a KYC. He had to do a whole bunch of different stuff. Go through a personal background. He said it was probably more invasive than the government when the government does a security clearance check, right? So
Yeah.
with that in mind, somebody's not just paying 700,000 to get on one of these top tier one exchanges. It's just not happening.
It,
Um,
and,
which
and that
is good for us, right? Because if that were the case, like you said, a ton of these shit coins that have already scammed people out of millions and millions of dollars, we just launch another coin, hand over another 700,000 and be on a tier one.
and that's why when some of your tokens get listed on a tier one exchange, much like Aptos, you have to take a second look and go, how did that happen? Right?
Right.
What's going on behind the scenes of that particular token? Just like the ape coin, right? When you can launch on tier one exchanges, it should make everybody take a second look. It really should.
Uh,
And I'm not.
hold on, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time, T Hobbs, my channel, the Crypto Shop. Welcome, bro.
What's up, Mr. Waddy? How you doing?
Good, good. And yourself?
I'm good, man. I was just sitting back listening to you guys. I was doing some research in the background. I was just like, I heard the discussion on Binance and whatnot. I wanted to chime in, and also I wanted to show your wife that I'm a real person, right? But yeah, I thought it was an interesting conversation because I think that education is key in this space, and I think that that's a huge misunderstanding, right? That Binance, Coinbase, or any other centralized exchange, when you really do your own research and you really break down exactly how much revenue, because the difference between centralized exchanges and some of these tier two, tier three exchanges is the fact that tier three exchanges, they thrive off that volume, right? That's how they make their revenue. Well, companies like, Binance or Coinbase, they're companies. They have other sources of revenue, right? They have many other sources of revenue streams. So when you go and look at not only are they companies, like they're on the stock exchange, right? So when you go and look at their revenues and their earnings reports, there's more to their company than a money grab. They have a reputation to uphold. So the reason why they wouldn't bring on some of these projects that are, and it's not a knock on Vote Inu or any other project. It's not a knock on Vote Inu or any other project that has great communities, because I do believe community is a utility. The problem is that people don't do their own research and realize that these companies have much more to lose than gaining your value from bringing you on. Because if you do something malicious, if you do something that's, normal in DeFi, it doesn't look good for Binance. In addition to that, that article that I sent you, Waddy, we actually went over it in the shop today, which I thought was interesting, is the fact that in that article, CZ discusses why he is bullish on DeFi, but what he specifically said in that article is that he's looking for projects or companies or DeFi projects that add real value to the space. So when you go and you look at, a Vote Inu, or you look at some of the larger projects in our space, it's the reason why I'm bullish on, Terrarium. I'm bullish on WagMe. I'm bullish on Swing. I'm bullish on Clear Cryptos, is because when I do my deep dive and my research into these particular projects, I look at them and I say, what real value do they hold to the actual user that can then create revenue?
Yeah,
If you read that,
and that's what I
yeah,
and
go
that's
ahead,
what I
Daniel.
was trying to. And what's up, Hobbs?
Hey, what's going on, Daniel?
No, and that's what I was trying to say when the whole tier one exchanges was brought up was, you can't just throw money at a tier one exchange and say list me, because it's bigger than that to them. There's so many other things that a tier one exchange has to look at from a business standpoint to make sure that your project is legit and make sure that you're not going to bring uh negativity to their platform. I mean, you just look at Luna Classic, and when that thing happened, I mean, how fast did all the tier ones pull that off that exchange? I mean, it came off tier one exchanges like within 12 hours, right? Because they didn't want to be associated with what was going on. And these tier one exchanges, they have a lot to lose. Like you said, a lot of them are on the stock market. They're publicly traded companies that have revenue outside of just your what we look at as a centralized exchange. And so when projects are launched on on a tier one centralized exchange, chances are that project brings value. It brings something different to the crypto market. It's changing. It's doing something to change the way that the crypto space is going to be ran in the future, or add to it. And also that project is vetted probably harder than you're going to vet any other company. So it always gets under my skin when people are like, well, let's just pay the listing fee and get on a tier one exchange. Well, that just tells me you don't know what the hell you're talking about, because that's not the way it works. Yeah, maybe if you want to get on Hotbit, you can do that, but you ain't doing that to get on
You're not
crypto.com
doing
and
it.
buy
You're
them.
not doing it to get on crypto.com. You're not doing it to get on Coinbase. You're not doing it
No,
to get on, Mexi charges a fee. See, with Swing Dial, I work kind of behind the scenes with the marketing and stuff. So I actually get to see some of these listing agreements and stuff. Like, yeah, there are companies that out there that will charge you 300,000-400,000, but you're not getting that same offer from a Binance. You're not getting that same offer from a Coinbase. First of all, if you want to list, they're gonna see how deep your pockets are. Number one, Binance is automatically probably going to charge you upwards to $1 million. They're not looking for 700K, and they're gonna donate that shit. It's not even about the money. They want to know, if you give me $1 million, is it really gonna hurt your pockets, right?
it,
Also, what value can you add to my particular company, right? So and then also people have to realize that if you're a DeFi project and you do get listed, or whatever the project is, it doesn't have to be DeFi. Like, you get listed on these tier one exchanges. These tier one exchanges are most likely also investors in your company. So if you look at these prices when they do get listed on these tier one exchanges and they
they go.
skyrocket, it's because that's institutional money. That, if you guys follow stocks and everything, you
Mhm.
understand when institutional money comes in, it's a different type of candle pattern. You're no longer looking at, 0.5 ETH, 3. No, they don't move like that. They're looking to put 100 ETH, 200 ETH, leave it alone, take their profits later. So,
And that's one of the things that I was saying to Yobs too a while ago. I can't remember whose stream I was on, when I was saying you got to understand, where regulation comes and institutional money comes into crypto, you're going to see a different type of trading. And you have to start setting yourselves up for that type of trading, because the trading that you see now going on, when regulation comes in and this big institutional money starts to come in to the crypto market, because it will, because it's just sitting on the sidelines waiting for regulation. It's just sitting there waiting to be dumped in. And when it's dumped in, you have to change the way that you trade, because these institutional traders do not trade the way that we trade in DeFi. And I only know that because I come from the same place you come from. So you
Daniel,
know,
the crazy part is like, I try to tell people this so many times, because I'm like, what people don't understand is I'm not knocking meme tokens, and I'm not knocking, community tokens. That's not what I'm doing. But you have to understand that an influencer can push smaller people to put money in. And some people might have 30, 40 grand, even 100 grand, even a couple $1 million to push around. That shit is peanuts when institutional money comes in. You have to understand that an influencer is not going to move a market anymore when institutional money comes in here. I don't give a shit how big you are. When
BlackRock will move the
institutional
market.
money, yeah, BlackRock will move the market. And that's when you'll understand, what true market making is. And a lot of these people don't understand is like, look, this meme coin trading frenzy that we're in, it's cool, but you ain't learning shit.
All
Take
right.
an opportunity to really teach yourself something, a skill that when institutional money comes in here, you actually know how to trade the market. So,
And I'm gonna say this, and then I'll take a step back, because this is why they stream, and I feel like I just kind of like,
No,
but
man.
but
Look, we
but
all friends here. That don't
but
worry about it, man. Go
when
ahead.
you look at what's going on around crypto right now, and I don't talk about this a lot because people like to talk about meme coins, and I can do that too, because I love them too. But when you look at what's really going on around the crypto market right now, you have BlackRock, who teamed up with Coinbase. You have Fidelity, who's getting ready to roll your centralized exchange out. You have the Citadel, who's getting ready to roll a centralized exchange out. You have all these big companies that are getting ready to jump into the crypto market with centralized exchanges, but on their own or either partnered with other current centralized exchanges that are bringing BlackRock's allowing their high-end investors to buy Bitcoin through Coinbase to start and then move to ETH. Now, I don't understand. I don't think that people understand what BlackRock's talking about when they say they're high-end investors. What they're talking about is people that are not going to come in and throw 3 or 4 Bitcoin on the table and then pull it out. What they're talking about is people that are going to come in and buy hundreds of Bitcoin, right? And these high-end investors are going to be throwing so much money at the market that you're not going to. It's going to be different, and what you see today is not going to be what you see 5 years from now, because you don't think that Fidelity, the Citadel, and all them guys are sitting around with the SEC right now saying, how can we make our centralized exchanges, one, compliant, 2, safe, and 3, will you back us if we do this? Because they're not throwing money out here to develop these exchanges or partnerships with other people when they don't have a cigar in the background with the people in the background with the people from the SEC to say, hey, look, I'm thinking about throwing 40-50 million dollars at developing this. If I do this, you got our back, because that's how it works. And when it works,
I'm sorry, Daniel. I just wanted to address Cut My Balls Inu V3 real quick, which I think is a hilarious name, right?
I'm on my cell phone.
That's all good
because I'm not. So I can't see the comments, so I can just imagine.
No, I don't have any beef at all. I just wanted to go ahead, Waddy.
No, Couple My Balls Zenu B3 says real institutional money isn't coming. The crypt to crypto anytime soon. Way too volatile, way too unregulated, and way too early.
Okay, do me a favor and pull up the Binance article that I just sent you.
See, and while he's doing that, I want to just say, this is where you got to do your research.
Yep.
It is volatile right now, but you know what's going to make it stable?
Money.
Institutional money.
Yep. Now scroll up a little bit there, Waddy.
Sure.
See, Hobbs, you guys got me on some whole other stuff tonight.
Hey, I'm with it. I do this for 2 hours every day. Trust me. They know how I get down. They know I don't come over here to talk to just talk shit. I come with the facts. Scroll down a little bit, Waddy.
Sure.
Because I want to just address that comment directly with just facts. Okay, so go down a little bit past the Watcher Guru, the Twitter part of it.
All right. Hold on, let me do it this way because I try to go down the other way.
There you go. Okay, right there. Binance current investment ratio is higher than his 2021 investment of 140 million into 73 projects. The company is likely to spend over 1 billion on investments and potential acquisitions this year. What month are we in? We're in October, right?
You only got half of it.
But and this is the article about DeFi, by the way. Binance, the largest crypto exchange in the country, is scheduled to spend over $1 billion in DeFi this year. Not to mention, I could pull up like 45 other different articles that'll talk about crypto assets, digital assets, all of that other stuff, but I won't bore you with those things. What I will say is, if you're thinking they're not paying attention to an almost $1 trillion industry that then ran up to 4 trillion, yes, I know Apple hit a $4 trillion market cap and it's the largest company in the stock market, but that's an older market. This is a newer market. And if you think that they're not positioning themselves to be even more wealthy, you really need to start doing more research. You really should start doing more research, in my opinion.
Why do you think that? And this is one of the things that I always hit people with, because they don't. This is where you can see that they don't get it. Why do you think that Samsung is getting ready to launch a central exchange in South Korea? It's so that they can have it embedded on every Samsung phone that you own.
It's called
in the only way that Apple's going to be able to compete with that is if they launch their own central exchange or link up with somebody to go on an Apple phone, because eventually Apple will have to compete with Samsung when it comes to their centralized exchange. So think about every time you open up your cell phone, now you have access to a centralized exchange in a digital wallet. This is the direction that they're going, and they're not throwing this institutional money at this for no apparent reason. They want their slice of that $4 trillion pie, and they want to bump that $4 trillion pie up to $10 trillion pie by
Yep.
bringing in these new investors. Because and everybody right now is fighting for their slice.
True.
If you if, if you think if you think that Hotbit can, or an exchange like that can compete with an exchange like Fidelity, you're fooling yourself. Fidelity's got throwaway. Fidelity's got throwaway money,
Fidelity could buy
right?
Hotbit.
Yeah,
Fidelity could
yeah,
buy Hotbit 3 times in one
yeah.
year.
But that's what I'm saying. And I don't mean to pick on Hotbit, but
Right.
I look at them little exchanges like that, right? So when you look at that, like Fidelity and them guys like that, like they're they're on par with your tier one exchanges, and not all of your lower tier exchanges are going to make it through this process.
Yeah.
They're just not going to make it through.
Let me just ask Clint real quick. Clint, what's your opinion on all this, man? You kind of quiet there.
Just letting them talk. Actually, I want. I'll get a follow Hobbs. I like him. But yes, I agree 100%. We got big money coming in. Been saying it for a while now. And, Google's, you're talking Walmart, Google, all these companies are looking at getting into the crypto itself. And they're going to spend billions and billions of dollars. And you're right. Fidelity is actually offering up to be able to buy through your 401k cryptocurrency. So yes, we are a lot closer than people even think. And I've been saying this for a while as well. And Hobbs, man, I love you, dude. I love that
I
your point
appreciate it, man.
on that you're coming with straight with facts, because this is what we need in crypto, right? We need the facts. People need to educate themselves. And like I said, I'm a fan already, man. Just knowing you here for looks like the past 40 minutes, and I'm like, I'm following this guy.
Yeah, the thing is like, what's up, brother?
You know we love you.
Oh yeah. It's
You know we
all
love.
love, man.
We know we
I
love
ain't,
you.
I
We
ain't,
know we love you.
I,
Hobbs.
I've never done anything but try to educate, and people for whatever reason get upset with education too, but that's fine. The thing is to cup. I'm just gonna call you CMB. I'm not gonna keep saying that other word, but what I'll say is to your statement. He says that not sure why it's hard to agree with my statement or why either of you think you have to be right. Real institutional money not coming into regulation. Period. To me, it's not a question of right or wrong. Right? It's not to say you're wrong or to say we're 100% correct because nobody truly knows. What I try to point out is the writing on the wall. Right? One thing
Yeah.
we can't argue or can't discuss or can't disagree with is some of the blatant information that has been put out here ever since Bitcoin had their Bitcoin day. What was it, like last summer or sometime last summer or something like that? They did their Bitcoin day and they announced that they would be accepting Bitcoin basically on every large retail platform you could possibly be in through the Lightning Network. Ever since that article came out, look at all the bullish articles that have come out with American Express, MasterCard. Everywhere you look, they are positioning themselves because one thing you have to understand is regulation is part of it. 100% agree with you. 100% agree that regulation is going to be the clicker. But do you think that billion-dollar, trillion-dollar companies are going to wait for regulation to be in place before they put their chess pieces on the table? What we're trying to teach you up here is understand how the whales move. You're not a whale, right? None of us here are whales. But what I was always taught as a day trader is you don't trade You don't be a whale. You trade with the whales. You don't go against the grain. You just
Right.
ride right underneath them. And I'm telling
Right.
you right now, Binance is a whale. MasterCard is a whale. Chase, JP Morgan, all of these companies are whales. If you start to follow what they are doing in regards to the subject of crypto, you will not be sitting here thinking, oh, we're eons and eons away from institutional money coming in here. That's what they want you to think. That's
Yeah.
exactly what they want you to think.
Well, and Walmart didn't release that they're about to start two different two different
Oh
metaverses, one
man,
for shopping and one for gaming,
come on.
because they just thought about it.
No, they
You
and
know,
if you remember, Daniel, they were hiring all of these people, behind the scenes, all of these blockchain coders, all of these
yep.
people for marketing, for crypto, all the they were setting the stage then. And then next thing you know, you get a new article where metaverse is coming out. What do you think the next thing is going to come? I get excited, Daniel. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, man, I get excited too when we start talking about this, because these are all the things that I read on a daily basis, and like you said, you have to follow the whales. Like, you have to follow where money's going, and I learned the same thing you learned. You don't have to be a whale to swim with the whales. You just have to know what pool they're in, right? And once you know what pool they're in, then you can swim with them and you can make some money with them. But when you start, if they're swimming upstream and you're swimming downstream, you're going to be a broke trader.
Exactly. I don't think our points are mute. I just think we see it
No.
differently, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that, in regards to regulation being quote unquote years away, nobody has that answer. Nobody knows if we're a year away. Nobody knows if we're 10 years away. So I don't think that our points are mute. I just think that I'm reading his comments, so I know you can't see the comments, Daniel, but
Yeah.
but
And
yeah,
I just want to tell them too,
yeah,
like, it's not a matter of us agreeing or disagreeing with them, like you said, Hobbs. It's really a matter of us saying, okay, here's what we see coming at us. Like you said, here's what we see coming at us. Now, we can make the comment that big money's not coming in for a long time, and maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, but that's not what the research is saying. That's not what the articles are saying. That's not where the money is going.
Yeah.
So
that's 100%. Like,
And
Binance isn't trying to upload. Binance isn't trying to spend $1 billion in DeFi because they're waiting on regulation. They're not upticking the amount that they're spending 10x from what they spent last year. They went from spending 170 million to $1 billion. They're not doing that because they're like, oh, well, regulation's 10 years down the road. No, the money is showing us that we're closer than we actually think. I don't know how close that is. I don't know how far that is. All I'm saying is follow the money.
yeah, and money does mean something and money does mean something when it comes to this space, because I can tell you right now, the SEC is not going after Walmart like they went after XRP.
mm-hmm.
I'll guarantee you that. I'll guarantee you
Exactly.
that and I'll guarantee you that these big institutional, like I said earlier, they're big institutional people that are putting together these centralized exchanges and are teaming up with these guys like that. The SEC is not coming after them like they go after, Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? The,
Exactly.
so not only will institutional money bring a leveling off of the fluctuation of price all the time. I mean, there's always going to be a fluctuation, but the volatility. But it's also going to bring, I believe, a better understanding with the SEC.
And they're gonna start, in my opinion, they're gonna start with stable coins.
Yeah,
It's a reason, right? Like, and I don't, I don't put. Sometimes I put the tinfoil hat on, but I mean, pretty much look at all of the negativity that happened this year. All of it was priced, or all of it was focused on stable coins. So that gives the government their end, right? Now they're like, oh, we gotta fix stable coins. We'll fix it with our own token, right? That's the
that's what I
start of it, right?
that's what I
That's
said
the start of
earlier.
it. All
That's
right,
what I said
we'll bring
earlier.
in our own digital asset. Now you guys have something to trust, right? Now we get our cut, basically, is what they're saying.
Mhm.
It's just like if you go back to the prohibition era, right? With alcohol and tobacco. Now you go back to most recently, you look at marijuana. When something is illegal and unregulated, the government slowly shuts people down, meaning they go after all the bad actors. Sorry about my son crying in the background.
Mhm.
They go after, come here, baby. They go after all the bad actors first, right? Come here. They go after all the bad actors first. They lock them up, say what they're doing is wrong. They revamp what they're doing. They put a nice, pretty bow on it. They put a nice, pretty bow on it, and then they re-release it to you in the same way, but now they control it. It's the same thing with crypto. We're just in a different era.
And see how and I'm gonna talk it because my phone's
And
about to die. My phone's about to die, Waddy, so I'm about to have to go in a minute.
I
But
go ahead, go ahead.
what I'll say is, Hobbs, I agree with you, but I think how I think that the government's going to do it is just a little bit different. I think they're going to go after the centralized exchanges and the stable coins because them are the low hanging fruit, right? And they're easy. They're easy to get to. Uh, because one, like I said earlier, the stable coin mess that we've got ourselves into this year, that the DeFi space got itself into this year, and two, because centralized exchanges is something that they can control.
Yeah, I
Really well.
wouldn't disagree with that, and I also wouldn't put it past them to do both, right?
Yeah, well, yeah,
Or
whichever way they do it.
whichever order comes
Yeah,
first. But I
but
wouldn't put it past
So
them.
I think
so
DeFi. I think
since
DeFi will be last because
Yep, 100%. We
they
agree
need
there.
to understand it first.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but once they get it, I think it's coming. And I agree with you 100% about the United States making their own stablecoin. I think that that's already in the process, and I think it's just a matter of them guys figuring out how to roll it out. Because I think that that's going to be the currency that you onboard and offboard with at the banks, and that's how they're going to tax you. That's how they're going to get. That's how they're going to make sure they get their cut.
yeah.
Nah,
No,
I
and
have,
talking about executive order and orders, basically, this is the article that I came across the Bolix page, which is Biden executive order, and basically they're gonna have cybersecurity in both the KYC for AML, which is anti money laundering, uh, FinCEN, which it's uh it's a money service business. So they're already trying, in a sense, you know, the CSC, which is the cyber security and communication. And then there was the other one, financial innovation and consumer, which is the OFIP.
yeah.
So
What
that's
what
already, yeah, that's already an executive order that Biden already gave. So regulations probably years away, but I think this is how they're starting.
Well,
yeah.
you
No.
guys, one thing you're missing is that last April there was 256-page laws that they were trying to write up for crypto at that time. They got stalled in the House. Now, if you want to get those laws passed without having to worry about our Congress, getting stalled in the House or the Senate, then you have Biden do up an executive order. Well, then it's just his pen to that paper and it becomes law. And he can circumvent Congress altogether on getting these laws passed. They already have it written up. There's 256 pages that you can read on what they want to do in regulation with cryptocurrency.
Is that the Gillibrand law?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I would just say to that as well. Like you also have to remember, like, a lot of that stuff with Biden, a lot of that is just like inquiry level, right?
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily to make a decision. It's more like gathering information. It's like, the SEALs coming in and doing, recon first before they actually decide what they truly want to do. So but I gotta go. My daughter needs me to set up
me,
her
No
Google
problem,
speaker or whatever.
Theo.
But yeah, man, come by the
Oh,
shop
hold on, man.
anytime,
me,
guys. I'm live from 3 to 5. So if you guys want to chop it up some more, I'll be over there 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. So
I
Hobbs, Hobbs, I'm working during when you're streaming, but man, I take the most respect for you. I'm with you in other chats and stuff like that, but enough respect, man. And I can't wait till we get to chop it up like this again. But
Oh yeah,
I do gotta go do my
I'll,
phone time. And I'm on vacation.
yeah. I'll do a night stream one of these times. I got a little group chat that I'll probably add you to as well. I'll do a night stream and we can just all kick back and just chop it up, have some
Hey,
drinks or something.
I'm going to follow both you
I like to
guys if
chop
that's
it up.
okay.
All right, brother. Good to meet you, man.
Nice
Waddy,
to meet you
appreciate you
guys.
for having me, brother. I appreciate you.
All right,
Good to
that's
meet
good.
you.
See you.
All right,
Yep.
peace out.
Waddy, I don't want to die on you, but all right. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you. Waddy, let me know. Let me know when we chop it up again. All right. And I appreciate meeting you and hope we can do it again. All right.
All right, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you. Have a
All
good
right.
one, brother.
Thanks, Waddy.
All
Yep.
right.
Bye.
So yeah, Clint. I mean, it's just us two. A lot of information, right?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I agree with, what everything that was being discussed. I know money is coming in, institutional money. And hey, um, I think they're a lot closer on having the regulation passed if Biden doesn't just sign an executive order and turn it into law without, like I said, he can circumvent Congress on this. Because
Yeah.
they already had it written up, right? 256 pages a breakdown on how they're going to regulate cryptocurrency.
Hmm.
So and how they're going to get taxes from it. I mean, it's all explains in there. So
Yep.
this isn't just like a whim where Biden says, "Hey, I'm going to do an executive order." I think this is pressure, probably from one side or the other to get regulation in here. Because we've had people cry out for it for a time now. You think, Elon Musk and the rest of these people are saying you're going to accept Bitcoin for buying a Tesla or whatever he's doing, and they invest in the money or
Yeah.
invest in the tokens and stuff. You don't think they want regulation? They want to make sure that their money is safe. Um,
Yeah. No.
so I think we're closer than what most people think. Um, now, am I going to give a timeline? No. But if Biden decides, like I said, all he's got to do is sign that executive order and it's a done deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
But you know what it is too. Like, if we are honest with each other, institutional money has been messing around with crypto for the longest. That they probably not putting in the billions and billions of dollars right away. I get it, but it doesn't mean that they don't already know about crypto, and it doesn't mean that they're not invested into it.
well,
So
you think about it with all these sports figures and actresses and actors that are saying, "Pay me half in crypto," right? They already know something's coming. They already know. They wouldn't be taking a chance on something like this, when you're making, $25 million a movie and you say, "I want half of it in cryptocurrency." It's, you just don't take that kind of chance. Um, so uh, people, that are, best way to put it, that are in, have, a senator's ear or, whatever, but one of these Congress people's ears, and they know what's coming down the line because it's been slipped to them. Sure, they're gonna, I'm gonna take half my salary in crypto because I know I'll make billions of dollars on top of the millions I invest.
yeah, I totally agree with that. And no, it's funny that he brought up this article also, how much Binance made, but yeah, look right here, $12 billion basically in 24 hours. So up, and he got rug again. Now CMB, I agree with you. A 10th grade essay, it's not law or regulation. They still have to pass the law or regulation and need to build the ecosystem. Executive orders are not laws. You're right. They gotta go through the whole process, but in the meantime, maybe they're just trying to shake some people off. That's it. But we're not there yet. That's what we all are agreeing with. That it's probably not gonna happen anytime soon.
We don't we really don't know when when it's going to happen, when it's not going to happen, right? Everything right now is speculation, and you know, again, is it going to be a year down the road, 5 years down the road? I don't know, but they're going to be pushing for it harder. There's no doubt.
Yeah. He says there's money to be made. They are going to play. It still isn't real institutional money. Mutual and hedge funds actively invest into crypto now. This is not rocket science, and nobody's arguing with you on that one.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah, but if claim, I don't know, it's up to you. We're about to hit 2 hours. We make it to the 2 hour mark and call it a night, or you want to call it a night now?
Well, we can go the 2 hours and then call it a night. I'm definitely going to have to get up early in the morning. So,
Yeah. And I
but
definitely appreciate you hopping on and, you know, the support like always and the love. I really appreciate that.
I appreciate the conversation and the people we've had on. And I'll just say CMB. I love to see that with his input on where he thinks things are going. I think it created a great engagement. Not everybody's going to agree on everything, but at least we could sit here and talk and discuss, you know, um, like adults. But, at the end of the day, CM's right. It's going to be, you know, until regulation comes in.
Yeah.
Say my name. He's killing me. Until we get regulation in, then you're right. Then you're going to have heavy hitters come in, and until that point, it's everything is just speculation. Yes, there's definitely money to be made, and yes, definitely, I'm going to be checking out Aptos. Um, you know,
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be looking into it myself. I'm just going to be observing this. But I believe here, once I finish doing the whole research, but I see a lot of potential in this coin. So,
yeah, and like I said, it really, they went straight out of the gate onto centralized tier one centralized exchanges. Man, it's like holy cow! So it does make you set up and take notice.
yeah, yeah. But other than that, I was going to try. Hold on. Funny thing is, I don't disagree with him. The issue is the hopium of that it is coming soon, and there's going to be a big pump. Help people retire soon, not get rich after they retire. Sad. Um, I don't recall anybody saying that it will come soon or that there will be a pump anytime soon. I think since the beginning of the stream, uh, Kling and I agree, and Daniel also, and I believe Hobbs is on the same side, that all the way until 2024, most likely we won't see movement in the market. So,
No, I
but
think I think this bear run's going to be for a while.
yeah,
Um, and it's coming sooner than later on the regulations coming in. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road. I think it's going to be much sooner than that. Um, again, I can't say a date. I don't know. I mean, when they decide to do what they're going to do to get their money, tax wise and everything else, that again, like our government does, they they kick the dirt around and finally figure out that hey, they can make money on it. And how do we regulate it? No different with marijuana, state by state. Um, finally somebody pulls the trigger and then you're off and running. And then they figure out that this isn't right or that isn't right. So then they rewrite the laws, and they always rewrite it to make it for their advantage. You know,
well, that part is more about he's Hubs and Daniel both talking about is coming soon and spreading hopium that Binance is investing 1 billion by the end of the year, and that's the signal that institutional money is coming. Well, if we all talk about the part that, let's say, an example, Binance is a big company because that's the way I understood it. Binance is a big company, huge whale in the space. So it's like monkey see, monkey do. So if somebody sees Binance do that, then yeah, there's the possibility that other people might tag along and do the same. Is a guarantee? Not like not 100%. Is it possible? Very possible, because that's how the market moves. You have to follow the whales. Those are usually the rule. But with that being said, I appreciate the dialogue, and Clayton, I appreciate you being here. I am going to end the stream, but have a good night, everyone, and thank you for watching, and thank you, Clayton, for being here again.
thank you for having me. And like I said, thanks for the great conversation. And I think with everybody you've had on here today, it should make everybody think at least a little more, not look one-sided. Try to look at all point of views, because somewhere in the middle, it's going to all make sense.
For
Not
sure.
that anybody's right or wrong, but uh, just everybody has a view, everybody has an opinion, and I love it. I love the fact that we were able to share dialogue today. Um, that's awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed them myself. I'm gonna hit T Hubs and Daniel, say thank you again. And like I said, you're right here, so thank you 1,000 times. And yeah, with that being said, have a good night, everyone,
Have a great
and
night.
see you guys tomorrow.